Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us at another of our AcQuum Insight sessions. My name is Leon Bourke and I'm a director here at AcQuum Consulting. In today's session, what we're going to cover is security for Infor SunSystems Cloud, and we'll also unpack the new API functionality that we have in the SunSystems Cloud. Today, I'm presenting from Melbourne, located on the lands of the Wurundjeri people. The Wurundjeri have lived here for over 40,000 years continuously. I want to thank those people for their care of the land, the waters, and the animals. I pay tribute to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Okay, our presenter today is Vincent EU. Vincent will be taking us through Infor's credentials as they relate to security within the Infor Cloud. He'll then change gears and provide us with an update on the SunSystems API capability within the Infor Cloud. Just before I hand over to Vincent, a little bit of housekeeping. At the moment, the lines are on mute and the chat is open, so feel free to pop any questions in the chat. Once Vincent's wound up his presentation, what we'll do is we'll go through those questions and we'll open the lines up so you can ask questions in person. We plan to finish up about 4:40 Eastern Australian time so that you can get on with the rest of your day. And Vincent, so with that, I will hand the floor over to you.
Thank you, Neil. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can. Yep, all yours.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vincent. I'm stationed in Hong Kong. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through some of the new development of SunSystems, SunSystems Cloud and our API gateways that are available in SunSystems Cloud. Now, Infor is actually an industry cloud company. We have a specialized solution for different industry. Okay, we have financial industry cloud. We have SunSystems in the cloud. This is the track record of SunSystems or Infor's success in customer success. Okay. Infor start very small. Okay, we start 2002, and then with over 1,000 customers, and we grow our customer base to 67,000 in 2021, and we have more than 71 million users daily. Okay, in 2021, and we have moved 14,000 customers to our cloud. Okay, so that we are a cloud company now, and we are still moving our on-premises customers to cloud. And these are some of the statistics on SunSystems only. Okay, now SunSystems has more than 8,000 customers globally, and we have more than 125,000 users, okay, in different countries, including Asia Pac and also US and Europe. The architecture of SunSystems Cloud can be built by layers. Okay, the first layer we call it infrastructure layer, which is operated by AWS. We partner with Amazon Web Services, and they provide the infrastructure for us. Okay, so they're very good at this, and we have a slide to support why we choose AWS as our partner for infrastructures. And the second level, or the second layer, is the platform layer. We have a Infor OS layer, which is a technology platform. We have development tools available, and we also have runtime services, so that our third layer, our application layer, can make use of this runtime services for workflow, for document management. Okay, so the third layer is our application layer, where our business applications reside. Okay, we have different business applications. We have a lot of ERPs. We have financial solutions like SunSystems. Why we choose AWS as our partner for infrastructures? Because AWS is the market leader of the infrastructure vendor. Okay, and they have a proven industry expertise in in their user experience, and they have a lot of investment in their infrastructures business. And as a cloud solution provider, Infor has a ISO team that specializes in monitoring all the security related aspects of our cloud solutions. Okay, this team of people works closely with our development teams and operation teams and make sure that while all the deployments are running smoothly, and they also perform different types of scanning to make sure that we will discover any threats, okay, before it really hurt our or causing damages to our solutions. Okay, they perform source code scanning, vulnerability scanning, penetration tests, and also system hardening scans, so that whenever there is any potential threats, that will be uncovered before it cause any damage to our solutions or customers. Okay, and these are the areas where the ISO teams will be monitoring. Okay, they will monitor the application security, network security, and physical securities. And we also allow our customers to download the SOX reports annually, so that they can review any non-compliance issues that has been happened, okay, during the year. For cloud offering, what will our customers get when they subscribe our cloud services? Okay, they will get all the SunSystem modules with Q&A, our reporting tools, and also the technology platform, Infor OS. Okay, and the uptime historically is 99.9%, and contractually is 99.5%. Okay, and they will get 3 environments: 1 production environment plus 2 additional environments for testing and development. And they will also have the system maintained by Infor. Infor will provide all the patches, monitor the performance, and make sure that the user experience is acceptable for our customers. And all the application infrastructure maintenance are to be done by Infor. Okay, and all the disaster recovery, the backup will be done by our cloud operation teams. Okay, as I mentioned, the security between the connectivity and also the internet, okay, is always monitored by our cloud operation teams and also our ISO team. And we also have security measures on customers' data. Okay, and they are encrypted during transmission and at rest. Now, SunSystem Cloud, there is a lot of new components, one of which is our API gateways, which will provide security, okay, in connections. It supports OAuth 2.0 authentication that allowed us to connect to the system securely. Okay, and then it also supports RESTful JSON-based APIs. Okay, that allowed us to integrate with other solutions that support the same. And it's fully documented, and I'll show you how what object documents are available when I move on to the applications. And we can browse the available APIs, okay, easily within the applications. Now, the API also support backward compatibility with the SunSystem Connect integration, because many of our existing customers has already done their integration with SunSystem Connect or SSC, okay? And they would like to have the same, payload, upload functionality with APIs. And we have, we have developed a backward compatibility payload API for this integrations. And we also developed a new business object-based API for, say, master records like address record, chartered account records, customer records, okay, and also transactional records APIs. And these APIs start with very small number. We have about 80 business objects, okay, when we start to roll out the SunSystem Cloud. And right now we have 130 business objects available, and I'll show you what are these 130 business objects later. And for SunSystem, in order to deploy or use SunSystem API, what we need to do is we need to configure, okay, the authorized app, okay, which is a proxy that allow that apps to access the API gateway, okay. And then we need to download the credential, okay, in the form of a JSON file, and then we can make use of the credential to create the token, okay, and then we can use the token to communicate using the API payload or API endpoints. And then we can with the API we can probe for any receive response or results from the request, okay, from the API call. Now, this is the screenshot for SunSystem API gateway. Okay, this is the API available for SunSystem. As you can see from here, not only SunSystems has API gateway available, it also, the components in our technology platform like Mingo, document management, they all have API that allowed us to, integrate with external solution. Like if we want to upload our document, okay, through Outlook, okay, we can make use of the API available in the technology platform to upload those documents, okay, using APIs. And these are the APIs available for SunSystems. We separate them into two broad categories. One is payload, which is the backward compatibility of the SunSystem Connect. Okay, we can use XML that are created for SunSystem Connect, and then we can load that batch using this payload type of API. And then we have business object API, and right now we have over 100 business object API available. And this is one of the examples of our payload API that allowed us to upload the XML that contain our journals, okay, to SunSystem Cloud. And then this is a screen showing us how we can create or configure our authorized app so that we can have different proxy for different applications. Okay, say we have several applications that will connect to SunSystem Cloud using API. We may connect or we may create different applications. Like in my screen, I have document management apps. Okay, I have IMS apps. Okay, you can create different apps like I have one demonstration apps called CAM demo authorization apps. Okay, so that I can have different proxy for different apps. And in configuration, for configuring these apps, okay, we need to fill up some information like the platform of the apps, okay, whether it's a web application, whether it's an Android application, iOS application, or Windows application. And then we need to fill in the redirection URL, and then we can download the credentials in the form of a JSON file. Okay, this is the credential, and we have masked some of the characters, okay, for security purposes. And then we can download this JSON file, and then use this credential to generate the token for the application to access. Okay, so after the token is generated, the application or the third-party developed program can make use of this program to call the API, okay, to authenticate, and then to call the API they want. And this is one of the example of getting the token and deploying the token for the API call in the environment of a Postman app. Okay. And this is an example of a API call. And after we submit this call, okay, with the token, this API gateway will give us back the results, okay, in the forms of a XML, which is actually a JSON format XML. Okay, this one shows us the name address, should be a name address, okay, and then the result is in the form of XML, and also if there is any error, it will give us a error log in the form of JSON format too. And this is the another example of requesting a journal line details, okay, using the Postman app to get the journal details with for this company PK1, and the ledger code is actual ledger, and the journal number is 792. And this is the result for the API call. It's also in the JSON format with different labels. Okay, I can call period, and so the data exchange is very straightforward for web applications. Okay, because JSON is designed for web data exchange. Okay, that's all I want to present. And the next thing I would like to do is I would like to show you the live environment. Okay. And this is by tenant. Okay, and this is my landing page. For the interest of those who hasn't seen Infor OS before, this is the homepage for Infor OS, and which is a visual-based homepage, and user can configure their own homepage, like they can put their own banners. Okay, this is this harbor view of Hong Kong, and they can put a widget for external link. Okay, a widget for document management, or a task list widgets like this one, with which we can build the task we have created in Infor OS. Now, to access the API gateway, okay, we will go to the top left-hand corner where the application menu resides. Okay, we can find, we have one API on API. Okay, and you can see I have a tab called Available APIs, in which I have registered quite a number of APIs. Some of them are Infor solutions. Okay, we have Mingo API, we have Document Management API. All of these are active, and we have some external APIs. Okay, so that we can connect to external system if we want. Okay, like CRM solutions. Okay, and we have one SunSystem API. Okay, and within SunSystem API, we have different components or endpoints. Okay, and the first one is our business object API, and the second one is the payload API that support the upload of journals in SSC format. Okay, let me go through the business object API first, because we have more than 100 lines. Okay, we have 113 business objects, and these are the business object like address, allocation code, analysis code. Okay, in SunSystems, we can make use of this APIs to get those information from SunSystems. Okay, like if I want to get a address record, okay, we can make use of this address API, okay, for external system to control. Okay, and this is the attributes that requires for a call for a address record. Okay, so we may try it out to see what we can do. So in this attribute list, okay, some of the fields are mandatory. Okay, we need to put this is a required field. Okay, there is a asterisk against it, and it's marked required. So I need to tell the API gateway which business unit, which company I want to retrieve this address record, and what is the address code. Okay, so I put down the company code and also the address code, and then I will execute this API call, and it will come back, okay, with errors, or it will come back with the result in the form of XML or JSON format.
What we might do is open up all the mics. If we can open up the mics and let the participants ask some questions. I'll lead out with a question. So Vincent, one of the slides that you showed was on the different layers of cloud service that Infor offers with its SaaS, with its software as a solution offering. So what we see a fair bit of when we go out to talk to customers is that quite often the IT department will have a relationship with Microsoft. So they'll have an established relationship with Microsoft, and they'll want to go down the route of putting in a Microsoft data center as opposed to say AWS with the Infor offering. What would mind? Could you please just highlight the differences between going a full SaaS solution, just to reiterate? I know you showed the slide, but if you could reiterate that, the difference with a full SaaS solution from Infor, the inclusions, as it would compare to, say, a generic data center offering from, say, Microsoft with Azure. If you could take us through that, that'd be great.
Okay. SaaS solution is different from, the architecture you just mentioned, or the deployment method you just mentioned. Okay, if it's going to do it to host it in, I got a slide here. Okay, now what I've just showed you is Infor Cloud, SunSystem Cloud subscription will include all this hardware, infrastructure, IT resources, and application maintenance, and also license are also included. Okay, so for the hostings services you just mentioned, say if it's hosted in Microsoft platform, then it's something like this column. Okay, so we are deploying SunSystem on Microsoft platform, and data application middleware and OS are hosted in Azure, and the server is offered by or storage are offered by Microsoft, and this is something just like on-premises offer for customers. Okay, so they need to take care of the applications software, they need to upgrade it, they need to maintain it. Okay, however, for SunSystem Cloud, all these are managed by Infor. Okay, the application patching, the middleware, all are managed by Infor. The infrastructure is managed by AWS, and the contract is between Infor and AWS, and the customer only have a SaaS contract with Infor, and they only need to take care of the data. Okay, and the data ownership is by the customers.
Yeah,
so these are the main difference.
Yep. So there's a lot of other components that the IT guys will need to be thinking of if they go down that Microsoft route, and the ongoing maintenance as well. It's not just the setup stuff. So it's yeah. Thank you for clarifying. Might just throw questions over to the floor. Any questions from the audience? Okay, well, I've got another one, Vincent. Yeah. Another couple here, so I'll just throw them at you. So our audience here, we've got finance people, we've got technology people in the room, and historically with our integration that we've been doing with SunSystems, it's all been file-based. So on-premise file-based type of integration, whether it be transactions or whether it be master information. You showed how we can bring both of those into APIs with the SunSystems payload, taking the transactional stuff, and you outlined something like 130 different endpoints that we have with master data now, that we can do API calls to and froing sort of from multiple systems. What I wouldn't mind, what are you seeing in the marketplace now around APIs for the type of information that people are calling using API calls in a SunSystems world? Is there anything in particular you're seeing that the audience could walk away with and go, well, maybe we could do that in our organization?
They will use API calls. Say if I have a billing system, I'm not using SunSystems billing system. Okay, I'm using an external billing system, and I would like to have the credit limit for that customer, and would like to have the account balance for that customers. The external apps can make use of the API calls to get the credit limit and also account balance from SunSystems, so that they can when they issue invoice, they can know the credit status and decide whether we can go forward for the ordering process, or we would like to have some approval before we go forward with that approval, that ordering process. But that's something we can do, and we can also say download the exchange rate from a web site, and then we can call the API gateway and update the exchange rate record in Sun. Yeah, there are many business cases that can leverage the flexibility of our API gateways to streamline the business process.
Yeah, okay, they're two good ones. I like that. So I guess if the audience, if they do have any queries or anything they think, well, maybe we could connect another system in with SunSystems, We'd like to do that on an ongoing live sort of basis. Please feel free to get in touch. We'll be able to pick up the question and give you some advice on that. So that's great. Thanks, Vincent. I'm going to ask one more question, then throw it out to the audience again. You've outlined the open nature of our APIs within Infor. Does Infor have on its roadmap anything specific, I suppose, that it's developing in the world of APIs for connecting through to SunSystems? Is there anything that Infor is looking at there to sort of purpose-built stuff?
Now, that should be a question for our development team. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
This is the very beginning of, well, we are rolling out the SunSystem Cloud. Okay. We rolled it out in Q4 last year, and starting with 80 API business object, and then right now we have 130, and we are going to build more. Okay, and based on the request from customers, if our customers has any business case they would like to have more API available for SunSystem, we're happy to develop it. Okay, so we are listening to the requirements from our customers. So that will be our plan. Okay, we will enrich our API document library so that, well, our customer can, well, leverage more on this to communicate SunSystem with their homegrown or third-party application they have deployed.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so the customer's voice is really loud in this area.
Yeah.
So if you have any requirements that you want to see that you may see in other products, give us a yell. We'll use our seat at the SunSystems Product Advisory Board, the global board that we sit on, and we'll ask the questions of product development. We'll work with Vincent to make sure those questions are put in front of the right people. Just one more shout out, I suppose. I feel like an auctioneer. Is there any further questions from the audience that you'd like to ask Vincent while we've got him?
Not for now. Not for now.
Question for the group. I think if there's anything further from the group. No, I guess not. Okay, so that concludes today's event. It's 4:40. We've managed to hit it right on the head, which is nice. So, Vincent, thank you so much for your time. It's really valued, and your insights are I think that we really enjoy having you all on board in these sessions. To the audience, thank you heaps for coming along. Keep an eye on LinkedIn. We use LinkedIn to showcase new events. If there's any further events that you would like to see, any topics you'd like to cover, let us know. We'll put them into the mix, and we'll make sure that we cover them. If today's content is useful to you, have a look at our website. So our website's got the recordings from these previous events, from all our previous events, as well as some tips and tricks that our consultants post as well. So if you're looking for some free tips and tricks in how to use existing product, feel free to jump on the website and have a look at that. Yeah, look, that concludes today. Thanks heaps for coming along, and have a great afternoon. We'll see you next time.